어휘 늘리기. 네, vocab 읽어. Okay, so first when we talk about 어휘이라는 단어 나온 김에 just remember vocabs, vocabularies 이런 단어 없어요. Okay? 벌써 집합 명사예요. So you can't say I'm studying vocabularies. 이런 말 문법적으로 틀린 말입니다. I'm studying vocabulary. vocabulary 벌써 복수형입니다. Okay? I'm studying vocabs, I'm studying vocabularies. 틀린 문장인데 많이 들었던 것 같아요 그동안. So you should say I'm studying vocabulary. That already means 어휘 공부하고 있어요. Okay? You don't say 어휘들을 공부하고 있어요, right? 그렇게 말 안 하잖아요. 영어 똑같아요. Alright, so let's look at these words. So I'm gonna start posting these things kind of regularly on the site, okay, for vocabulary work. And I'm gonna post 2 podcasts that go with this, okay? 앞으로 그 해당되는 그 녹음 2개 올리려고 하는데 하나 제가 그냥 그 발음 그 원어민 발음으로 그냥 하는 거고 하나는 우리 원래 해왔듯이 그냥 이 내용에 대해서 설명하는 그런 팟캐스트로 올리려고 해요. So I'm going to start doing that from now on. And like I explained here, the criteria. In this case, 기준 아니면 조건. We say criteria. Okay? For the words, the criteria for choosing the words. Okay. 단어를 선택할 때 그 조건, 그 기준은 the standards. It's similar to standards, but in this case, criteria is better than standards for this explanation. Okay, is that these are words that I think would be useful to Koreans. Okay, 한국 사람한테 유용할 것 같은 단어. Okay, 먼저 올리려고 해요. Alright, and then if you look at the last sentence. There, what I said is 하루에 익힐 수 있는 단어 수는 제한돼 있는데 불필요한 걸로 시간 낭비하지 않도록 항상 주의하세요. I think this is really important. Okay, from what I've learned in language too, like when I was in that 한국어 왕 초보반, then there was a lot of words in there, a lot of explanations that we didn't need at that level. We were learning very hard words in the book that we didn't need to learn, right? Okay. 아무도 안 쓰는 속담 같은 거 일단 배우지 마세요. 그거는 정말 마지막에 정말 유창하게 말할 수 있을 때 그때 마무리하는 단계 속담 같은 거 배우셔도 되는데 그 전에 불필요한 걸로 시간 낭비하지 마세요. And I felt that way about Korean too. A lot of times, I don't know why, but in the lowest level of Korean, there's all these hard proverbs and expressions that Koreans don't ever use. Like, you know that expression, for example, 예를 들어서 외모도 외모지만 뭐뭐뭐뭐. 근데 there's one 그 비슷한 의미로 외모도 외모 기련이와 뭐 이런 거 있잖아요. 그런 거 우리 배워야 했어요. 1급 제일 낮은 급에서 왜 그런 아무도 안 쓰는 유형 배워야 했는지 모르겠어요. So if somebody asks you to learn something 쓸데 없을 것 같으면 그냥 무시하세요. 배우지 마세요. Okay? Because you can only memorize like 20 words a day or less. So you have to choose the important words and ignore all the useless words. Okay? This is one little piece of advice. Alright, let's look at the first word. Heyday. Okay, heyday. Okay, so when we talk about heyday, 한창 때, 전성기, we talk about this, we usually use this a lot. Back in my heyday. Okay, 이런 유형으로 제일 많이 쓰는 것 같습니다. Okay, back in my heyday, like she said earlier, I could date 5 guys at one time. Okay, back in my 한창 잘 나갈 때 나는 뭐뭐 할 수 있었다. 자랑하고 싶으면 started like this. Back in my heyday, I could drink 맥주 1000cc. Okay? I could drink 10,000 cc's of beer back in my heyday, or whatever it is. Okay. Back in my heyday, I could. Okay. All right, so we use that a lot. Let's look at this. Back in my heyday, it was nothing for me to stay out drinking with friends till 5 in the morning. So another important expression here is it was nothing. 네, 아무것도 아니었어요. 새벽 5시까지 집에 안 들어가고 계속 친구하고 노는 거 별거 아니었어요. 아무것도 아니었어요. Okay? Means it was nothing special. It was no big deal, right? It was no big deal. It's the same as that. So you could change it to it was no big deal, and you could say, back in my heyday, it was no big deal for me to stay out till 5 in the morning drinking with my friends. 그렇게 쓰셔도 돼요. Alright, let's look at number 2, eccentric. 지금 막 보니까 들었던 생각은 이거는 동그라미라는 뜻이겠죠? 그리고 이거 바깥쪽. 그래서 그 틀에서 벗어난 사람이겠죠? 딱 보니까 그런 생각 들어요. 맞는지 모르겠지만 그런 거 같아요. Right? Eccentric. So for example, exit is, 나가는 거. Okay? 출. Like in Korean it would be 나가는 거. And it can be written this way too. That's my guess, but I'm not sure. I could be wrong. So eccentric, we use it as a noun and also as an adjective. You could say he is an eccentric. Okay, 명사형으로 쓴다면 he's a complete eccentric. 정말 괴짜야 그 사람이. Okay, he's a complete eccentric. Or you could say he's really eccentric. 둘 다 가능해요. 네, 형용사 형하고 명사형. So let's look at the 예문 좀 봅시다. He's one of the only truly brilliant people I've ever met. But if you spend a little time with him, you will realize that he is quite eccentric. Okay? Okay. Alright, number 3, 부담스러운, burdensome. Okay, some이라는 접미사. 뭐 있어요? burdensome도 있고 또 뭐 있어요?
troublesome.
Yeah, troublesome, right. 문제야. He's a troublesome kid, right? Troublesome. 또 awesome. Right? Awesome. So awe is this 신기. So 신기스러운, right? 신기 is awe, like I'm in awe. 이렇게 많이 써요. I'm in awe. So 지금 놀래고 있어요. 놀라워. You'd say I'm in awe. Okay? And then you could say 그 사람에 대해서 of him. Okay? 압도적인 연주 보고 나서. What an overwhelming performance. I'm in awe of him. So awesome 원래 여기서 왔어요. Okay? Awesome. So troublesome도 있고 meddlesome. 참견쟁이. 어떤 사람 계속 내가 하는 일에 간섭하거나 참견하는 사람 he's meddlesome 이라고 할 수 있어. M-E-D-D-L-E meddle. meddle는 참견하다. Okay? meddle. So meddlesome. Now 여기는 burdensome 나왔지만 사실 burdensome 부담스러운 그 형용사이지만 평상시에 burdensome보다 it's a burden이라고 해요. 그게 그냥 부담이야. 그거 하고 싶지 않아. It's a burden. 근데 더 이상 그거 못할 것 같다. Okay? It's a burden. I can't do that any longer. It's too much of a burden. 많이 써요. It's too much of a burden. 진짜 많이 쓰는 표현이죠. Okay, so 근데 신문 보면은 가끔 burdensome 나와요. 네, 일상적으로 burdensome 안 쓰고 it's a burden 더 많이 쓰는데 에세이나 신문 기사를 쓰실 때 그때 burdensome 쓰셔도 됩니다. Okay, let's move on to number 4. Humiliate. So when we use humiliate, we use this about our parents sometimes, right? 친구 앞에서 그렇게 장기 주지 마요. 그렇게 부끄럽게 하지 마세요, right? Don't humiliate me in front of my friends. 내 친구도 있는데 왜 그런 소리 해요? 왜 어린 시절 이야기 갑자기 하셔요? 이런 거 있잖아요. Right? If your parents are there, they start talking about like when you were a baby and like whatever, you wet your bed or whatever. They always 항상 그런 부끄러운 말씀을 많이 하시죠. So you could say, why are you humiliating me in front of my friends? Right? 친구 앞에. Alright. 여기 예문 보시면 중요한 표현 나왔어. I know he made a mistake. 그래서 그 사람 실수했다는 건 나도 인정해. But there was no need for. 이 표현은 중요해요. No need for 뭐뭐. 그거까지 할 필요 있었나? Okay? There was no need for him to 뭐뭐. 이거 많이 쓰는 말이에요. Okay? There's no need for you to yell. 소리를 그렇게 지를 필요 없어요. Okay? 그렇게 크게 말할 필요 없어요. There's no need for you to yell. Okay? There is no need for you to yell. All right. Yeah, number 5, shoddy. Okay, so 우리 이거 사람에 대해서 안 쓰고 그냥 작업. Okay, this is shoddy work. Okay, this is a shoddy essay. You need to rewrite this. 보자마자 이 사람이 성의 없이 했다는 거 티나는 거. Right? This is shoddy work. 그리고 공사. Okay, 공사에 대해서 부실한. Okay, this is shoddy construction. So you could say, thanks to the dependable, right, the well-structured, well-grounded construction in Japan, despite the earthquake, not a lot of buildings collapsed, right? But you could say if there was shoddy construction in Japan, the disaster would have been much worse. Okay? Shoddy construction, 같이 많이 써요. 부실한 공사. Shoddy construction. So shoddy construction will never survive an earthquake. Shoddy construction will never survive an earthquake like that. Alright, let's move on to number 6, grueling. So 정말 힘든, grueling, 매우 험한. It's a grueling path up the corporate ladder from here. Corporate ladder 뭐였죠? 지난번에 보았는데. Right, 단계적으로 승진하고 올라가는 거. 회사 안에서 무슨 조직 안에서. 단계적으로. I'm moving up the corporate ladder. Okay, it's a grueling path up the corporate ladder. Okay, mumble, 중얼거리는 거. Okay, what were you just mumbling at me? What were you just mumbling at me? Okay, or don't mumble. Right? If somebody, let's say you tell somebody something like, you need to do your homework, and then the person's like, oh. And then you can be like, don't mumble, like that. Right? Alright, now, 고급 단어 좀 봅시다. Okay, these words, I think native speakers will know all these words. They might not use them. Okay, native speakers would know this if they read it, but I don't know that they would use them. We rarely use these words. If I write an essay, I'll use these words. But in spoken language, people don't use them very much. Okay? So get nostalgia. Nostalgia. Okay, so looking at the yellowed, frayed family pictures I dug up in my mother's closet, I was suddenly overcome with nostalgia and wept like a child. Okay, so let's say you go to your mother's house, you look at the old family photos, and they're yellow, right? Yellow, because 탈색했잖아. 사진 같은 거 오래되면 다 노란색 돼버려요. So you could say yellowed. I was overcome. So 그 감정 이렇게 넘쳤어요. 이렇게 밀려왔어요. Okay, I was overcome. And I wept like a child. So wept, 울다라는 뜻이죠. 근데 cry보다 조금 더 높은 어감이죠. 더 이렇게 시 같은 분위기. I could have just said I cried like a child. 그것도 가능하죠.
노스테이지아의 형용사형은
이거 명사예요. nostalgic. 예, C만 붙이시면 돼요.
이거 왜 동사예요? 형용사예요?
nostalgia라는 게 명사예요.
왜?
wept. wept은 과거형 동사. So weep, 현재형은 weep. Alright. So nostalgia. We use nostalgia and overcome a lot. Okay, 그 감정 갑자기. So for example, I watched that movie. I looked at those pictures. I heard that music. Okay, I smelled some perfume that reminded me of my grandmother or reminded me of an ex-girlfriend or something. Right? Then you could say, and I was overcome with nostalgia. All right, next, extent. Okay, this is not extent. 만약 이로 쓰면은 that's a different meaning, extent. But this is extent. So 잔존하는. 우리 이거는 extent. I guess you can use it about people sometimes, but mostly we use it about documents. Okay, for example, like if you talk about the Gutenberg Bible, you know the Gutenberg Bible with the first printing presses. You could say there's 5 editions of the Gutenberg Bible extant, 5 extant editions. Okay, so 서류나 작품 그것에 대해서 많이 써요. You know Stradivarius violins, the violins that are very expensive, the most expensive violins. You can say there's only 3 extant violins, okay, created by him, left in the world. Okay, 보통 extant 바로 명사 앞에 많이 와요. Alright, so here you can see I said extant versions. Alright, veneration. You could just say respect, right? But this is another word. So do you remember 우리 스님에 대해서 얘기할 때 존칭 is venerable. The venerable 누구누구. That's how you say 누구누구 스님. Okay, so 법정. We would say the venerable 법정, like that. So 스님의 이름 앞에 오면 우리 이렇게 많이 써요. 그냥 ven dot 그리고 그 스님 이름. Okay, so 법정 스님 쓰고 싶으면 ven dot 법정 이렇게 쓰시면 돼요. Okay, and venerable. It's short for respectable, venerable. Okay. Okay, so that would be 존경스러운, 존경하는, 존경심하는. All right, Catholics treat papal artifacts with a great deal of veneration. So papal is 교황의. 교황 is pope. 내 형용사로 바꿔서 말하면은 papal이라고 해요. All right, number 11, amiable. Amiable. 호감을 주는, 착한. So everyone around him was impressed by his consistently amiable nature. So 여기 nature이라는 게 인격, 성격 그런 뜻이죠. 자연 아닙니다. Okay. Next, incipient. Okay, 초기의. Okay. So this 첫 번째 단어, sometimes this is pronounced machinations and sometimes machinations, but it usually means like a scheme, okay, 방침 or 음모론, or for example, people are conspiring. It's like a conspiracy. You know the word conspiracy? It's similar to that, right? A conspiracy to take power, right? 뭐를 그렇게 쓰는 거. 집권하려고 계획 세우고 그러는 거. 기회를 노리고 있다, right? So to seize power, we're still in their incipient stages, but worrisome nonetheless. 우리 방금 얘기했던 worrisome, some도 나왔네요. Okay? 걱정스러운, 우려되는. And nonetheless 이렇게 한 단어로 써진 거 보셨어요? Nonetheless, 그래도 이라는 뜻이에요. Okay? 다 합쳐서 써요. Nonetheless, 한 단어입니다. 그래도 라는 뜻입니다. Okay? Alright, next, sumptuous. So,
죄송해요.
네,
그왜 컴퓨터가 초기화됐다고
네.
막 그런 표현하잖아요.
네.
뭐라고요?
we just call that formatting. We call that formatting the hard drive. Okay, you could say starting fresh. I started fresh with my computer. 신선한 시작. Okay, but you can also just say I formatted the hard drive.
인셉션 이건 여기에서 나온 거예요?
아니요, 달라요.
달라요?
여기 보시면 I 들어갔잖아요. P 뒤에 Inception 아니고, 그러니까 Inception 보면은 여기서 온 거겠죠. 이 concept 할 때 하면은 이거 개념이라는 뜻이잖아요. 근데 incept 이거랑 비슷한 쪽이에요. 네. 근데 우리 지금 보는 거는 incipient 여기 뒤에 그 P 뒤에 그거 I 있으니까 그 아마 어원이 다를 거예요. Okay, but it looks similar, right? Okay. Alright, sumptuous. So we usually use sumptuous about a meal. So thanks for this sumptuous meal. 그 사자성어 뭐였죠? 진수성찬. Okay, thanks for this sumptuous feast. What a sumptuous meal you've prepared. Okay, 음식, 만찬에 대해서 많이 써요. Okay. Alright, next. 일행. Okay, retinue 또는 entourage. Retinue, entourage. Okay, so 왕에 대해서 얘기할 때 retinue 써요. So for example, the king. Let's say the Queen of England, when she attended the wedding, you would say she was surrounded by a retinue, okay? Because those people take care of her, okay? All right, so retinue. And entourage, okay, 농담으로 그냥 사람에 대해서도 쓸 수 있어요. Okay, let's say you see your friend and he's surrounded by a bunch of his friends and they're walking somewhere. You could say, oh, that's 정민 and his retinue, and his entourage. You could say that too. And then 일반인에 대해서 많이 쓰는 게 crew. I'm just with my crew. Okay? Okay, so I can say I saw you walking with your crew yesterday in 신촌. 내 친구들하고 우리하고 이렇게 어디 가는 거 봤어요, 신촌에서. I saw you walking with your crew. That's his crew. 우리 항상 그렇게 소유격으로 써요. His crew, my crew, your crew. Alright, next, seamy, the seamy side of town. Okay, 사회 이면, 도시 이면, 보기 안 좋은 쪽에. So for example, you went to the seamy side of town. 그렇게 많이 써요. The seamy side of town. Alright, 16, rewarding, 보람 있는, 보답 있는, 보답이 돌아오는, 유익한. So being a teacher is one of the most rewarding career paths a person can choose. So 이 career path는 많이 써요. 근데 조금 이렇게 중국적인 표현인 것 같지만 그래도 엄청 많이 쓰이는 말입니다. Okay? Because career and path actually mean the same thing. Career, if you look at the original meaning of career, it means like more like 궤도, 경력보다 그냥 가는 방향이라는 뜻이었어요. So for example, when people talk about the path of a car, you can say the car careered off the road. 옛날식으로 그렇게 많이 쓰였는데 이제 경력이라는 의미로 쓰기 시작했어요. So career path이라는 게 조금 중복적이지만 진짜 많이 쓰는 표현이에요. Okay? Alright, next, flamboyant. Okay, so trot singers are known for their flamboyant outfits. Outfits, 복장. 네, 정말 많이 써요. 바지랑 옷 위에 있는 숏. Okay, I like those flamboyant jackets that the Shabang guy always wears. Where can I get one? Remember Shabang? Remember that guy? He always wears those things with the pantak. Those are called sequins, right? He always wears those jackets with that sequins. So we can say, where can I get one? Okay, those are those 뚝뚝 장식.
외국인들도 뭐 블링블링한 잘 써요.
Bling bling, yeah. 비슷한 의성어, 의태어죠. Bling bling. 그러니까 bling bling 이런 의미니까. So for example, if somebody wears a really shiny necklace, we call that bling, right? He's got bling. He's wearing bling. Bling bling, like that. Okay. And then next, magnanimous. Okay, magnanimous. 어렵죠? Okay, so magnanimity is the 명사형. Magnanimity. Okay, 근데 magnanimous, he's very magnanimous. So in a leadership position, having a clear vision is important, but treating your underlings, okay, 부하 직원, in a magnanimous way, okay, 관대하게 대해주는 것도 is a crucial part. So important, 항상 중요하다 번역할 때 important 이렇게 지겨워 주시면 그냥 대신에 crucial나 critical 쓰시면 돼요. 계속 이렇게 항상 important이라고 할 수 없죠. So critical part. Crucial part, integral part 또 많이 써요. Integral 또 essential. Okay? Important 한글에 한 번만 써주세요. Okay? S 있을 때 계속 important이라는 단어 반복적으로 쓰시면 안 되니까. Essential, integral, 그리고 crucial, critical 이런 거 다 있어요. Okay, fraught with, fraught with, 뭐뭐로 가득 찬. Okay. Alright, so bear in mind 뭐였어요? 알아두세요, right? 명심하세요. Bear in mind that this is an operation. 이 작전은 fraught with danger. okay? 정말 매우 위험한 작전이라는 것을 알아두세요. 항상 명심하세요. Okay? Maybe Obama told this special forces before they assassinated Osama. Maybe that's what he said. But okay, fraught with danger 많이 같이 써요. Okay, this is fraught with danger. Alright, to come to naught, 무산되다, 흐지부지 됐어요. Okay, 계획에 대해서 얘기할 때 많이 써요. So let's 드디어 okay, 용기 내서 내가 그동안 좋아했던 여자한테 고백하고 싶었어요. Right? So let's say 어디 바닷가까지 다 가서 아주 화려한 분위기 다 만들었는데 무슨 그 마지막 순간에 용기를 못 내서 그냥 흐지부지 됐어요. Or let's say we went to the beach, but like the beach was closed and my whole plan is ruined or something, right? Then I could say it came to naught. So I finally was all set to confess,